Learning English has never been easier.
Get 1% better every day with TEEP, the Easy English podcast.
I'm Lucas.
I'm Emma.
Hey there. Before we jump in, if you've been enjoying our episodes, please share this one with your friends so they can learn too. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and give us a big thumbs up. It really helps us grow. Your support honestly means the world to us. Thank you for being here.
Hey, welcome back everyone. Today we're diving into something super practical for anyone working in a restaurant or cafe, greeting and seating customers. It's about how to manage that first impression, with the right phrases and that warm smile.
Absolutely. I'm really intrigued by how these simple but effective phrases can transform a busy dining room, you know? It's like setting the stage for a great dining experience.
Right, so starting off, the content emphasizes when a customer walks in, you gotta immediately welcome them. So simple phrases like, "Good morning, welcome to restaurant name," or "Hi there, how can I help you today?" really set the tone.
Yep, that makes a big difference. And don't forget the body language. The guide reminds us that a smile, eye contact, and a friendly tone are essential. It's almost like, it's like giving the customer a warm, nonverbal hug right as they walk in.
Totally. It's like, those small gestures really communicate that we care message without even using words. And then comes asking about the number of people. It's all about being clear and polite.
Right. So if someone says, "Table for two," you might say, "Hi. Just the two of you, or would you like a table for two?" It's conversational and kind of puts the customer at ease immediately.
Exactly. And what's great is they also provide alternatives for when the group is bigger. Something like, "Great, let me check if we have space for a group of 6. It prepares you to handle larger crowds, which is super important during peak hours.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about adapting quickly, isn't it? But, I was thinking, don't you sometimes worry that asking "just you today" might come off as presumptive? What do you think?
That's a great point. I mean, context matters, right? The key is tone. You want to sound genuinely curious and friendly. It's like you're engaged in a little conversation with them right off the bat.
Yeah, I get that. Makes sense. It's a balance of being efficient but also making sure the customer feels valued. Now about the seating, what's the content suggest there?
Once you know how many people are there, you can move on to offering a table. You're saying things like, "Please follow me," or "Your table is ready." And then once you get there, simple phrases like, "Here you are," or "Please have a seat," let them know they're taken care of.
Right on. I really like how that mirrors, personal service. It almost feels like the waiter is guiding you through a well-thought-out experience. But I wonder, do you think these scripted phrases might sometimes sound too robotic?
That's a fair criticism. It could sound a bit rehearsed if not delivered with warmth. It's crucial that the server adapts these phrases to their own natural style. It's like, repeat them enough times until they flow naturally rather than sounding copied.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's really training through practice. And speaking of practice, the content even has a mini dialogue for practicing these phrases. How did you feel about that?
Oh, that was neat. They literally have you repeat, "Hi there, welcome to our restaurant," then, "Would you like a table inside or outside?" and, "Of course, right this way." It's like a mini role play to embed them into memory.
Yeah, that's pretty effective. It reminds me of language drills from school where repetition builds confidence. And then, there's the part about handling wait times. How crucial do you think that is?
Super crucial. Not every customer gets seated immediately, right? So phrases like, there's a short wait at the moment, about 10 minutes, or would you like to wait at the bar? Help manage expectations without causing frustration.
Absolutely. I imagine it must also help diffuse any tension when the restaurant is hectic. It's like, by being upfront and polite, you calm everyone down.
Exactly. And it shows you respect their time. Plus, saying, thanks for your patience, adds an extra touch of gratitude. It reinforces that you're aware of their weight
Right,
and appreciate them.
exactly. And then, once they're seated, the next step is offering menus and water, which sounds so simple yet so important.
Yeah, it's simple, but it really rounds off that first impression. Offering menus, saying, here are your menus, and even asking, can I get you some water to start, shows you're proactive about their needs. It's like you're ensuring their comfort right from the beginning.
Totally true. I'm also interested in the part where it mentions using a QR code to view the menu. It's cool how modern tech blends into traditional hospitality.
Definitely, that blend of tradition with tech is insightful. It's like when you're in a trendy cafe and instead of a paper menu, you scan a code. It's convenient and feels modern without losing that personal service touch.
Yeah, that's spot on. I can see that working really well, especially with younger customers who love everything digital nowadays.
Right, exactly. And then to wrap up, the content quickly reviews all these steps, greeting the customer, asking about the number in their party, offering a table, managing wait times, and then giving menus and water. It's a compact guide that really builds the foundation for customer service.
For sure, It's interesting how these steps all feel interconnected, each one building on the previous to create a seamless experience for the customer.
Absolutely, it's like a well-choreographed dance. Each step flows into the next, starting with that initial greeting and ending with a welcome into the dining experience overall. It's all about setting the right mood.
No doubt. One thing I noticed is how important repetition is in training. I mean, if you repeat these phrases enough, they start to feel second nature, right?
Indeed, that's the beauty of practice. The more you repeat them, the less robotic they sound. It's all about turning these scripted lines into something natural and heartfelt.
Exactly. I also appreciate that they remind listeners to be mindful of tone and body language. Even the best words can fall flat without the right delivery.
Right you are. It's not just about what you say, it's how you say it. Your smile and your eye contact basically signal, I care about you, which can put even the most impatient customer at ease.
Very true. I was just thinking, though, while these phrases are great, do you reckon they allow for enough flexibility in real scenarios? Sometimes conversations can be unpredictable, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why it's stressed that these should be practiced until they become natural. They serve as a guideline, a toolkit. You're totally encouraged to adapt them on the fly and let your personality shine through.
Yeah, for sure. It's like having a script for improv, one that you can use to handle any situation without sounding canned.
Exactly. And it's super empowering for people in the service industry who might be nervous about speaking English. It gives them a framework to build on.
Right on. I love how this approach not only builds linguistic skills but also boosts confidence in customer interactions. It's a wonderful combination of language learning and soft skills training.
Oh, totally. And then, as a bonus, they tease the next audio, which will cover taking orders, explaining dishes, and making suggestions. It's like a series that really rounds out what you need to know when serving.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear that. Yeah, it builds anticipation while ensuring that these foundational steps are well learned. It's like they're saying, get these basics down, and then we'll take you to the next level.
Right. And that progression is so important in any learning process. Each little piece fits into the bigger picture of excellent customer service. It's like building a house. You start with a strong
truly.
foundation.
Overall, it's really a comprehensive guide for anyone wanting to excel in hospitality. And I appreciate that it acknowledges the importance of both verbal and nonverbal communication. It's all about the complete experience.
Exactly. And remember, folks, it's all about practice. The more you rehearse these phrases and actions, the more instinctive they become, creating that unforgettable, warm welcome for every customer.
Right, couldn't agree more. All right, that's it from us today. We hope these tips help you make every customer feel right at home.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Keep practicing, stay natural, and we'll catch you next time for our next session on taking orders and making those dining experiences even better. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into a super practical topic, taking orders and recommending dishes with confidence. It's really all about making customers feel welcome and comfortable.
Absolutely. So, right off the bat, the first thing we need to consider is actually asking the customer if they're ready to order. It's that gentle check-in, like, are you ready to order? Or can I take your order?
Exactly. And it's important to deliver these questions in a polite and relaxed tone. You know, you don't want them feeling rushed.
Yeah, totally. Now, once they confirm, we need to take their order clearly. I mean, the phrases are pretty straightforward. What would you like to start with? And for your main course? It's like a step-by-step process, right?
Right. And here's a neat trick. Always repeat the order back to them. You know, so if someone says, I'll have the grilled chicken with salad and a lemonade, you say, that's one grilled chicken with salad and a lemonade. Got it.
Absolutely. That's a classic move. It not only confirms the order, but it also prevents any mix-ups later in the service. It's like a double-check system.
Exactly. And then there's the handling of special requests. Sometimes customers want changes like, can I get that without cheese? And it's super important to acknowledge that with something like, sure, no cheese, anything else?
I love that. And it's the same with little tweaks like, can I have the dressing on the side? Which is, like, another opportunity to show you care about the customer's preferences.
Right. And if you're not 100% sure about something, it's totally fine to say, let me check with the kitchen for you. It adds a nice personal touch because it shows you're willing to go above and beyond.
That'll definitely build trust. Moving on, one of the most fun parts is recommending dishes. When customers are a bit, indecisive, it's your chance to shine by suggesting something popular. For instance, one of our most popular dishes is the chicken parmigiana.
And if they're into seafood, you might say, if you like seafood, I recommend the grilled barramundi. It's fresh today. It's about matching the dish to their taste, right?
Right on. And for drinks, there are those little gems like, would you like to try our house wine? It goes well with red meat, or the tropical mocktail is very refreshing. This really ups the level of service.
Exactly. And if we dig a bit deeper, the idea is to sound natural and honest. It's not about memorizing a script. It's more like having a few go-to phrases that let customers know you know your stuff.
That makes sense. Now, here's a point I want to challenge a little bit. Isn't it sometimes, a bit too scripted when people rely solely on go-to phrases? I mean, where's the room for personalization?
Good point. And I totally agree. It's like, you have these phrases as a starting point, but you should always read the room, adjust your tone, and add a bit of personalization based on the customer's vibe.
That's what really elevates the experience, being adaptive. Now, another area is offering help with the menu. If a customer seems a bit confused, you can jump in with, "Would you like me to explain anything on the menu? Or if this dish is a little spicy, would you prefer something milder?"
Right. And it's also smart to ask if there are any allergies. For instance, are there any allergies I should know about? Which is both considerate and professional.
Definitely. Also, sometimes a customer might ask not just for recommendations, but for clarification, like, "Do you prefer chicken or beef?" This shows you're really tuned into their needs.
Yeah, and that brings us to closing the order. Once everything's set, a friendly and confident closure is key. Phrases like, "Great, I'll put that in for you now." Or, "Perfect, your food will be out shortly." Bring the interaction to a nice close while still leaving room for any further requests from the customer.
Exactly. It's all about that final touch. And speaking of that final touch, how important do you think it is to maintain that energy throughout the conversation, especially when you're moving from taking the order to finishing it up?
Oh, it's super critical. It's like once you deliver the order confirmation, you want the customer to feel assured. A smile in your voice, consistent tone, it adds so much value.
A lot indeed. So, to summarize, we have a lot of components: checking if the customer is ready, taking orders clearly, handling special requests, recommending dishes, offering help, and finally wrapping it up politely. Each step is, so important in creating a seamless customer experience.
Absolutely. And remember, it's not only about clarity, but also friendliness. Like if you're repeating the order back, you're reinforcing that you really listened. It's that level of care that makes a difference.
Yep, exactly. You know, I think these techniques are super useful not just in restaurants, but also in any service-related field, right?
Definitely, it's like a toolkit. Even outside the food industry, these communication strategies build trust and ensure that the customer feels attended to.
Absolutely. And it's interesting how simple phrases can, transform a customer's experience. They might seem trivial, but they actually create an atmosphere of care and personalization.
Right? It's all about that extra mile. There's something really cool about being able to adapt your service based on a simple question or comment from the customer. It's like your people skills, your language skills
Yes,
are on full
totally.
display.
So, looking ahead, the next topic in this series is handling those, tricky situations, like complaints or wrong orders. That's where your calm and polite communication really shines.
Exactly. And it's noteworthy how these basic order-taking skills lay the foundation for, tackling even the most challenging customer service scenarios.
Absolutely. I love how everything is interconnected. If you, master one part, it boosts your confidence across the board. It's like, a domino effect in customer service excellence.
Right. And it reinforces that continuous improvement. With every order, every recommendation, your English and interpersonal skills get sharper.
That's the beauty of practice, yeah. What I find interesting is the balance between being professional and still sounding, natural and genuine. Like, you don't want to sound like a machine, do you?
Exactly. That's the subtle art of it. Too rehearsed and you lose authenticity, but too casual might come off as unprofessional. It's like finding the Goldilocks zone, not too hot, not too cold.
Right, exactly. And honestly, this balance is what truly creates that memorable dining experience. Customers appreciate, both efficiency and warmth.
Yep. And when you think about it, these techniques are as much about building rapport as they are about managing orders. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
Absolutely. Now, if we throw in, an analogy, it's kind of like being a good host at a party. You greet your guests warmly, offer them some refreshments, and, adapt to their needs throughout the evening.
Yeah, it's like making sure everyone is comfortable. And when you do that, the whole experience becomes more enjoyable.
Right, could not agree more. One final point, even though it might seem minor, the way we end the order with phrases like, enjoy your meal, really adds that final sparkle.
Definitely, it leaves the customer on a positive note and sets the stage for the rest of their dining experience.
Aha, exactly. All in all, taking orders and recommending dishes isn't just a routine task. It's a real craft that, blends communication, empathy, and, well, a bit of flair.
Absolutely. And with enough practice, these phrases become second nature. It's like um, building muscle memory with your words, and it really shines through when you're interacting with customers.
Yep, indeed. So, folks, if you're stepping into a role like this, remember these key touch points: checking if they're ready, taking orders clearly, handling any special requests, making smart recommendations, offering help with the menu, and wrapping it up nicely.
Exactly. And always be attentive, adaptable, and genuine. It's this combination that elevates your service game.
Absolutely spot on. All right, I think that wraps up our discussion for today. Next time, we'll dive into handling those tricky situations like complaints and payment issues, where your professional communication really becomes your superpower.
Yep. So keep practicing these phrases, stay confident, and above all, remember that every interaction is a chance to improve. Keep at it.
Absolutely.
You're doing
Keep
amazing.
shining.
Welcome everyone to our Service Excellence Chat. Today, we're diving into handling problems and payment politely in a restaurant setting. Let's talk about turning a foibles into a positive dining experience. You know?
I'm excited about this. Handling complaints can be such a delicate art, right?
Exactly, it's all about maintaining a calm, friendly tone. If the customer mentions that the food's cold or the order is off, you immediately say, I'm really sorry about that, and let me fix that for you right away.
Yeah, it's like you're acting as the bridge between the customer and the back of house. It makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Right on. And even if the issue isn't directly your fault, saying something like, I understand, let me see what I can do, goes a long way.
Yeah,
It shows genuine care.
I get that. But what about situations when the customer is really angry?
Well, staying calm is key. You'd say, I understand this is frustrating, then gently offer a solution by asking, would you like me to bring a
Yep.
different dish? It helps steer the conversation into a more positive direction.
Makes sense. And it's essential to avoid making excuses. You just, keep it about addressing the problem.
Exactly. The focus is on showing empathy and readiness to help, not shifting blame. For instance, if there's a mix-up, you say, thank you for letting me know, then, I'll speak to the kitchen and make sure it's corrected.
Right. That definitely puts the customer at ease. And I guess tone plays a huge role here, too.
Absolutely. The tone should be calm, friendly, and helpful. And sometimes, just listening to the customer can be the best remedy. Simple statements like, thank you for your feedback, I'll make sure to pass this on,
Yeah,
go a long way.
totally. It's interesting, right? A sincere apology really diffuses tension almost like magic. But do you think over-apologizing ever undermines your authority?
That's a good point. While apologizing is important, it's also crucial to follow up with an action. Say, sorry for the delay is fine, but then you need to act swiftly to sort it out. So it remains a genuine apology rather than empty words.
Exactly, words have to be backed by effective action. Now, moving on to the part about asking for payment, how do we handle that gracefully?
Great question. When it's time to wrap up the meal, politeness is key. You'd say, would you like the bill? Or,
Yeah,
can I bring the check over for you? Always using a respectful tone.
so it's not abrupt, it's presented in a way that respects the customer's pace.
Precisely. And when handing over the bill, consider saying, here's your bill. Please take your time. Or, whenever you're ready, I'll take care of it. That shows you value their comfort.
Right, exactly. I also noticed there's a section about splitting the bill. That must be really common these days, huh?
Oh yeah, it's super relevant. If someone asks, would you like to split the bill? It's a way to accommodate different payment preferences. And you'd follow up with, are you paying together or separately? Just clear and simple bidirectional communication.
Absolutely. That clarity really helps avoid any awkwardness at the end of the meal.
For sure. It's all about leaving a great final impression. Just before they leave, it's important to say something warm like, thank you for dining with us today, or I hope you enjoyed everything. A friendly goodbye
Yeah.
can make even a mixed experience end on a high note.
Definitely. And I guess that, in turn, can encourage a return visit, right?
Exactly, it's the kind of detail that builds customer loyalty. Also, a quick review of vocabulary helps too. Words like mix-up, delay, change, all these terms become part of your natural conversation with customers.
Right on. Speaking of vocabulary, I noticed terms like apologize and make it right get repeated a lot. How important is it to stick to these phrases exactly?
Well, not exactly to the letter, but having a standard repertoire of polite responses ensures consistency, especially when things go wrong. It's like a trusted script that you can always adapt.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting, but I wonder, don't you think relying too much on set phrases might risk sounding robotic?
That's a fair point. It's important to use these phrases as guidelines rather than a strict script. If you sound too rehearsed, the customer might feel you're not genuinely engaged. Mixing in some natural variations can help, make it feel more conversational.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. I can see that balance being essential, structured responses with a natural, sincere delivery.
Exactly. It's like you have your set of tools, but you need to know when to improvise a little. Your tone, your timing, even a small chuckle sometimes can disarm a tense situation.
Right, absolutely. And speaking of timing, ending the meal with a positive note is as crucial as handling the complaint very carefully.
Yep, it all loops back to customer satisfaction. The final goodbye, hope to see you again soon, or have a wonderful evening, really helps cement that positive
Definitely.
experience.
I guess, at the end of the day, it's really about showing that you're attentive and care about every detail, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's the heart of great customer service. Even if there are hiccups, your approach to apologizing and resolving issues, along with polite payment handling, tells your customers that you truly value their experience.
I totally agree. This series of techniques seems like a must for anyone in the service industry. I especially love how they stress not just words, but the tone and actions behind them.
Right. Actions always speak louder than words. And these guidelines, like apologizing appropriately, asking for payment gently, even managing split bills smoothly, it's all about that personal touch.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious though, what do you think rounds off the approach the best?
Good question. For me, it's the warmth with which you say goodbye. Even if there was a small issue earlier, ending with, thank you for dining with us, hope you enjoyed your meal, turns the entire experience around.
Exactly. It's like knowing when to close the chapter on a meal, leaving the customer with good memories even if a page was a bit rough.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, like a well-orchestrated finale in a concert. Each note must play perfectly to leave a lasting impression.
That's a perfect analogy. I love how these strategies also empower the staff, making them feel more confident when faced with challenging scenarios.
For sure, when you practice these phrases, your confidence naturally grows and customer interactions become smoother. Every little bit of practice builds up professional skills over time.
Absolutely. Well, that was an insightful discussion. Handling problems in payment with such care truly exemplifies excellent customer service.
Yes, indeed. It's all about making sure that even if things go wrong, the overall experience remains positive. Thanks for the chat, and remember, practice those phrases, stay genuine, and keep that smile on.
Exactly. Here's to great service and happy customers. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Great job today. Your effort and perseverance are what make the difference.
Thank you for learning with us, and don't forget to check out the next video.